Hello everyone, this is Electrolyte Orchestra. I'm just about to do a quick breakdown of my Beet Battle 12 submission. A few people wanted one, so thought I'd just do one because they're quite easy and it's a little bit of fun as well. So basically, let's get into it. I couldn't be bothered setting up my good microphone, so it's just my phone recording the audio for the voice, but hopefully that's okay. Alright, so to start off with, I went through all the sounds. I think I've actually used all of the sounds. I wanted to try and use all of them. And I wanted to try and do it without any real external instruments. I've got my little meme sample, but other than that, it all comes from the stuff that we were given. Most of my power comes from Wavetable. There was a really nice... which one was it? The Juno bass sample. That's like, it's essentially a sweep through some like nice clean wave forms, which is kind of what I use in Wavetable anyway. I just use the kind of basic square through to sine wave forms. So yeah, you'll see in my Wavetable folder, I've got quite a lot of stuff. Most of this stuff comes from the same patch that I just duplicate and then edit. Like, I duplicate the channel and then I'll edit it a bit, and then pan them left and right so that they kind of sound the same, but you get that nice sort of slight difference that your ears pick up as a slightly different sound, so it sounds like it's coming from left and right, rather than if you panned like the exact same sound left and right. You'd either get phase cancellation or it would just sound like it's mono. So that's a little trick I use pretty much all the time. And all of these are the exact same sounds that I'm just doing some different processes to. So I've got my ARPs there. I've got some pitch bending and stuff, I think, in... or do I? I thought I was... What am I doing here? Oh, no. I'm automating... Yeah, that's right. I'm automating the pitch within Wavetable. Yeah, that's how I get that wobbly thing. Yes, a lot of automation going on. It's like a red mist descended upon me, and I just automated everything. This was pretty fun, actually. It was just like over the course of a few days, I just had like session after session where just everything goes right, which I hope plenty of you have experienced that before, because it's very, very satisfying, and it doesn't always happen that way as a creative person. So these sort of fluttery chords, which I'm trying with every bone in my body to just make my signature sound. So this is done by having like a very sharp kind of envelope, and I tweak them a bit, like I've said before, to get two slightly different sounds, and then I run them through the same arpeggiator automation, which is the free rate. No, it's in arpeggiator. Yeah. Which I think I just record armed and then just fiddled with the knob to get this kind of EQ curve, not EQ curve, automation curve. So, how I get the flutters sort of going left and right a lot is, I haven't done it here, it's just the decay that's different. But sometimes if you change the attack very slightly, they will literally, like the arpeggiator will hit at slightly different times, so it sounds like the flutters are like shooting past you from left to right. It's not quite doing that for these, but in other tracks I've done that. Some more basic kind of, and you can, yeah, I could prove, if you wanted proof, that these are all just Juno bass, and I haven't turned on the sub for any of these, just to be honourable about it. My sub, listening back to it, is kind of awful. Like, it's so clicky, but you don't really notice it in the mix because there's so much like attack coming from all the drums and things anyway, so I'll let that pass. Yeah, another thing I like to do is these sort of bass chord kind of things. Oh yeah, I messed with the actual tempo of the song a fair bit as well. So that's like, oh, and then this section. These, I'm pretty sure, just like a massive amount of saturation. That's my whole strategy with getting a crunchy bass. Default saturator plugin, boost up the drive, call it a day. There's also the unison on the actual wavetable settings, which fizzes it up as well if you use the noise. Yeah, look, yeah, there's not much to say there. It's just stacking all of these slightly different sounds, adding all the saturation. Saturator is good because it helps with controlling the actual like dynamics as well, like kind of like a compressor does. It kind of squashes it so it actually clips out less. Like, despite this being super crunchy and distorted, it's actually, you know, pretty tame in terms of the levels. This filter sweep, automating in wavetable itself. So that's all the wavetable stuff. And I was going to go into like the actual mixing side of things as well. I think some people want to know. So where's my main? So I haven't really done any EQ there, just sort of OTT. I don't really know how OTT works. I just put it on because everyone says to put it on, and it kind of, I mean, it does help tame it a little bit. Bring out some of the details a bit better. Obviously, I'm a fiend for sidechain, so everything's pretty aggressively sidechained, ratio all the way up. I'm not saying you should do that. That's just kind of what I've been doing, and it's how I get the sound that I get. But it is a very aggressive way to sidechain, and it won't work for everything. That's for sure. So yeah, so like I was saying, like if your sound doesn't require these low frequencies, you'll see that like in the actual visualizer, there's quite a lot of information there that you don't necessarily hear. Like, it doesn't actually contribute to the main part of the sound. So just get rid of it, and it'll leave more space for your actually important low frequencies in the bass and the kick and stuff. Same here, I'd imagine. Like, if I were to turn that off, look at all the I'm pointing at my screen, but you can't tell I'm pointing at my screen. Look at all the frequencies that are down there. They don't need to be there. I turn that on and off, and it doesn't actually change the sound all that much. But it does do a world of difference when you're actually trying to mix and keep everything in order. Like, it just makes the mixing process so much easier if you can identify quickly what frequencies does this sound actually need, and just aggressively get rid of the ones that it really don't need to be there. And it makes my mixes sound a lot cleaner now than they were before I ever did any of this stuff. It probably takes a bit of practice to know exactly what you do need in the sound, but all in all, like I was just A/Bing the high pass on and off, and I mean, I personally can't hear much of a difference, so that indicates to me that those low frequencies aren't important. Yeah, so even with my bass there, I've cut off the low frequencies because I know that I'm going to have a sub doing that job for it. Like this bass would sound good with those subs like allowed through, but then it would be competing with the actual sub bass. So it's best to just sort of give some room to the sub and let it do its thing. So that's wavetable stuff out of the way. I mean, we can like these sounds here, like the piano and stuff, are pretty self-explanatory. I didn't change them really all that much. I did some like filtering and stuff to make it sound kind of further away. And I probably no, I didn't open that up. But I've got these like additional piano chops underneath. Got R2D2 sounds and all the blips and stuff just scattered throughout to add some little ear candy. These chirps, I didn't change them at all. I didn't bother trying to pitch it, or I might have pitched it. I did pitch it, but I didn't try and like warp it to tempo or anything. It's fine. And then yeah, I did some different pitches and stuff, and so that's what it is. For noise, so for like my build-ups and stuff, I'm actually really lazy when it comes to this. I usually just use sample filters, white noise sweeps and stuff, but they're actually pretty simple to do yourself. What did I do? I used the guitar as a wavetable thing, bumped the noise all the way up, and then I was running two different kinds, and to get some movement I'm using the LFO to change the position, and that's on random to get some movement, and then I just resampled that, and then you can use EQ automation to get those classic kind of sweeps. So you get the high pass and the low pass working together to like just select like one sort of specific grouping of frequencies to get that kind of pitching effect. And then that's obviously sidechained, because what else would I be doing? So that's pretty straightforward, but it adds like a lot of excitement to the track that wouldn't otherwise be there.
So cute and funny.
It's fine without it, but it really adds this sort of extra kind of, I don't know,
Oh my god.
sparkle. Guitar, yeah, that was a little tricky to get in, because the bass notes and the chords didn't necessarily line up with the ones I was picking. So I actually had to chop out a bit and replace it with the bit that came before because it clashes less. But I've also scooped out all the bass to try and make that problem go away as well. And that brings us to the drums, really. I didn't spend a lot of time on the drums, really. Compression. What is this EQ even doing? It's doing nothing. Unless I was using that for blending or something. Yeah. But they're basically the samples as Jamie had them. Some reverb and stuff. The bottles actually made pretty good hi-hats using erosion with the white noise, the wide noise, to give it that sort of hats toppy kind of less pitched, more just stuff. I don't know how to say it, but it's less pitchy and more like just a percussive kind of thing. The fills, like, I remember someone saying my fill game was really good, but that's literally just stolen straight from the drum sample thing. So I have no credit to be had there. We got. I mean, what I did with the drum groove, I thought was pretty cool. Like, this is just the drum groove unaltered essentially, but I was automating the reverb settings, I think. Yeah, so you get those cool kind of I don't know what to call them, but I like them. Yeah. And then we've got the bottle kind of polyrhythm thing, which is just me looping different bits of the bottle sample. But one does like half bars and one does full bars. So, and I just pan them left and right, and it sounds pretty cool. So, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. I don't think there's much more than that. In terms of the actual production anyway. In terms of the composition, I don't know, like, I don't really think about it too much, I just went for it. I know kind of like my last Beat Battle submission, I kind of wanted to get a few vibes in there to sort of, I don't know, appeal to some different tastes. So I had that kind of big chordy drop, and then I wanted to have like a more grungy kind of just stupid bass kind of drop. I'm quite a fan of those quite like chord kind of ending to the gritty kind of bass thing. So that was the thinking behind that, and then I decided I kind of wanted to go back to the same kind of chord thing, so I'm pretty sure I just copied and pasted everything over but changed the chord progression. Probably not on all of it, probably just on, I think that's the same as the initial drop. I think I just changed these ones and probably the sub. Yeah, so a little bit more of like a climactic, uplifting kind of chord progression rather than the one at the start, I guess. Just a little bit more neutral. So yeah, that's probably enough info blurted out for any sane person. So hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something, and I don't know, maybe I'll do some more of these in the future. Who knows? All right, bye.